We are living through a very loud argument about the internet. Some people say it's destroying us, that it's addictive, that it's warping our brains, that it's tearing apart democracy and mental health and childhood all at once. Other people say it's just progress. Every generation panics about new technology. Printing presses, radio, television, they all caused fear at first. Some families are banning devices entirely. Others are fully immersed, no reflection, no boundaries. And here's the truth. Most of us are just trying to figure out how to live in this world. Because whether we love it or hate it, we're in it. The internet isn't optional anymore. It's where we learn, it's where we work, it's where we argue, it's where we grieve. It's where we build businesses. It's where we find community. So burying our heads in the sand won't make it safer or go away, but neither will swinging to extremes. What if we've been asking the wrong question? What if the internet isn't just a tool, but an ecosystem? And if that's true, then the way we interact with it matters more than we think. Let's pause for a second and look at what we're actually reacting to.
From anyone, we stand American together.
Before we decide whether the internet is good or bad, we need to name what's actually bothering us, because the reactions aren't random. When people say they're worried about the internet, they're usually reacting to something very specific. What are people reacting to? For some people, it's the feeling of addiction, that endless scroll that keeps pulling you back in even when you didn't mean to stay. For others, it's the sense that misinformation is everywhere and that it's becoming harder and harder to tell what's real. Some people are worried about mental health, especially the constant comparison and pressure that social media can create. Others point to exploitation, scams, fraud, and people who use the internet to take advantage of others. And many people are concerned about polarization. Outrage spreads faster than nuance, and algorithms often feed us more of whatever keeps us reacting. And notice this, all of those problems get worse when everything moves faster. Underneath all of these concerns is something deeper, speed. Information now moves faster than human judgment was ever designed to process, and that changes how truth spreads. These fears aren't irrational. They're grounded in real experiences, real headlines, real consequences. People are reacting to things they've actually seen. So this isn't about dismissing concern, and it's not about rolling our eyes at people who feel overwhelmed. But before we swing toward banning everything or shrugging and saying, it's just how the world works now, we need to understand what we're actually dealing with. Because if we react to the surface problems without understanding how the system works, we can end up fighting the wrong thing. So let's widen the lens for a moment. Instead of reacting to the symptoms, let's step back and ask a bigger question. If this isn't just a tool, if it's something bigger, what kind of system are we actually inside? If we want to understand what's happening online, we need a better way to think about the internet. Because calling the internet a tool makes it sound neutral and passive. A hammer doesn't change itself. A book doesn't adapt based on what you click. But the internet does. So what if the internet isn't just a tool? What if it behaves more like an ecosystem? In nature, an ecosystem is a living environment where many different parts interact with each other. Plants grow, animals feed, conditions change. And the things that survive are the things that fit the environment best. Over time, patterns develop. Certain behaviors get reinforced. Certain conditions allow some things to spread. Other things struggle to survive. And the key thing to remember about ecosystems is this. They don't decide what is good. They respond to what grows. Now think about how the internet works. Platforms are constantly measuring what people pay attention to, what we click, what we watch longer, what we like, what we comment on, what we share. Every one of those actions sends a signal into the system. and the system is built to notice patterns. So if a certain kind of content keeps grabbing attention, the system learns that pattern. Then it starts showing more of it. That's what people mean when they say algorithms amplify what holds attention. It's not mysterious. It simply means the system studies what people react to and then feeds more of that same kind of content back into the environment. And something else happens too. Speed starts to matter. Content that sparks fast reaction, anger, fear, outrage, excitement, moves through the system more quickly. More reactions, more sharing, more signals to the system. So the system spreads it further. Then the cycle repeats. That's what we call a feedback loop. The more people react, the more the system spreads it. The more it spreads, the more the system interprets it as important, and then it delivers more of it. Not because it's wise, not because it's helpful, but because the environment rewards what captures attention. Hard to admit, right? We blame the internet, but ecosystems respond to what grows inside them, and what grows is what we feed. Truth check. That's why I try to be intentional about what I click on, what I react to, what I share, because every one of those actions is feeding the environment. That doesn't mean any one person is responsible for everything that happens online, but it does mean we're part of the environment, influenced by it and influencing it. If we keep thinking of the internet as just a tool, we miss how it actually behaves. But once we start seeing it as an ecosystem, we begin to understand why certain patterns repeat, why outrage spreads faster than correction, why nuance struggles to survive, why attention starts to feel fragmented. Understanding the environment doesn't fix everything, but it helps us see clearly what we're actually dealing with. And clarity is the first step toward making wiser choices inside it, because ecosystems don't only produce problems, they also produce possibilities. So before we declare the whole environment toxic, let's look at something we don't talk about enough. What actually grows well inside this ecosystem? If we're going to be honest about the dangers of the ecosystem, we also have to be honest about its gifts. Ecosystems don't only grow weeds, they also grow medicine, they grow connection, they grow solutions. Let me show you what I mean. For years, scientists were stuck on a puzzle they couldn't solve. They were trying to figure out the shape of a single protein. And that shape matters because understanding proteins helps researchers design medicines and treatments. But this one problem had stalled. So the scientists tried something unusual. They turned the problem into an online puzzle, and they invited people around the world to try solving it. Not just scientists, anyone. Gamers, students, curious people, thousands of minds tried different approaches. People who had never met people from different countries. People thinking in completely different ways. And together they solved the protein structure. Not in 10 years. In about 10 days. That's one example of what a connected knowledge ecosystem can do. When many different minds can interact inside the same environment, solutions can emerge that no single expert could find alone. It allows ideas to cross-pollinate. In a healthy ecosystem, ideas move. They bump into each other. They refine each other. They strengthen each other. Innovation depends on that mixing. Science depends on it. Art depends on it. Democracy depends on it. And that same environment also produces other gifts we often take for granted. If someone collapses in front of you, you can look up CPR instructions in seconds. If a hurricane suddenly changes direction, emergency alerts spread immediately. If a product is recalled, families can find out within hours. That kind of information speed can save lives. Education has expanded too. Universities like MIT post entire courses online for free. Lectures, language classes, coding programs, skills training that used to require tuition, travel, and gatekeepers. Now it can be accessed from a kitchen table. That's not destruction. That's expansion. And for people living with chronic illness, this ecosystem can be life-changing. When you're dealing with something rare, misunderstood, or complicated, you can find research papers, you can find advocacy groups, and maybe most importantly, you can find other humans who say, me too. That reduces isolation, it accelerates learning, and it connects patients, researchers, and physicians across states and across countries. Scientists in the United States collaborate with researchers in Japan. Medical teams share discoveries globally in real time. Ideas cross-pollinate, and that word matters here because ecosystems are environments where things mix. And when ideas mix, new solutions appear. But here's the line we need to sit with. If we remove ourselves entirely, we also remove ourselves from its gifts. If we decide it's all toxic, I'm out, we don't just step away from misinformation. We step away from collaboration, from education, from connection, from opportunity. The ecosystem doesn't disappear because we withdraw. It simply continues, with or without us inside it. Which means the real question isn't whether this ecosystem exists. It does. The real question is whether we understand how it behaves. Hard to admit, especially when the negatives feel louder. But leaving the ecosystem doesn't make it disappear. Truth check. Now let's talk about what thrives in this ecosystem when we don't understand how it behaves. Because just like in nature, certain environments favor certain types of growth. Wet environments grow moss, dry environments grow cactus, and digital environments have their own growth patterns too. When we don't understand those patterns, we end up feeding them without realizing it. One of the most important patterns is speed. In the online ecosystem, misinformation spreads faster than correction. Not necessarily because people are malicious, but because speed is built into the system. A dramatic claim can travel around the world in minutes. A careful correction takes much longer. Someone has to check sources, compare claims, write an explanation, provide context. Nuance takes time. Verification takes effort. And the system isn't designed to slow things down. It's designed to reward engagement, which means the content that spreads fastest is usually the content that triggers emotion first. If someone makes us angry or afraid or triumphant, we're far more likely to share it quickly. Not because we're foolish, because we're human. Emotion moves faster than analysis. The ecosystem amplifies that difference. And there's another layer most of us underestimate: overconfidence bias. Psychologists have studied this for decades. Most people believe they are less vulnerable to manipulation than the average person. We think other people fall for misinformation, not me, but ecosystems don't check our confidence level before shaping what we see. They respond to our behavior, our clicks, our watch time, our reactions. If we interact with one type of content repeatedly, the system gives us more of it. Not because it hates us, not because it likes us, because it's optimizing engagement. And over time, our information environment slowly narrows. The same voices appear again and again, the same viewpoints, the same emotional framing. And without realizing it, we begin living inside an echo chamber. Then there's data exploitation. Every scroll, every pause, every search. Those signals are recorded and analyzed. They help platforms predict what we're likely to click next, what we're likely to watch longer, and what kind of content will keep us engaged. That's not paranoia. That's the business model. And finally, attention fragmentation. The online ecosystem constantly pulls our attention from one piece of information to the next. Headline, clip, notification, another headline. Our brains rarely get the chance to slow down and process something deeply. We react quickly, and then move on, which means we often process information at the surface level. Less depth, less patience, less verification. So the same features that make this ecosystem powerful also make it destabilizing. Speed, global reach, engagement optimization, personal information streams, Those are strengths, but they're also vulnerabilities. Sometimes the environment is stronger than our willpower. Hard to admit, right? We like to believe discipline alone protects us, but design shapes behavior more than we realize. Truth check. And when people start to notice how powerful these forces are, something else can start to happen. People begin to lose trust in the environment itself, which brings us to one more extreme we need to talk about. There's one more extreme we have to name. And honestly, it's the one that worries me the most. Cynicism. You've probably heard it, maybe you've even felt it yourself. It's all fake, nothing is real, you can't trust anything anymore, it's hopeless. And on the surface, that posture can feel intelligent. It can feel like you've figured something out that other people haven't, like you've cracked the code and stopped being fooled. But cynicism isn't wisdom. Cynicism is surrender. Because if everything is fake, then nothing is worth verifying. If nothing is real, then nothing is worth protecting. And if it's all hopeless, then participation doesn't matter. But here's the real problem. Cynicism doesn't actually solve the problem. It just removes people who care about truth from the process of protecting it. Sometimes cynicism feels safer than effort. But safer isn't the same thing as stronger. Truth check. Think about what happens in any environment when thoughtful participants disappear. The environment doesn't become calmer. It becomes dominated by the loudest voices, the most reactive voices, and the people who are least interested in accuracy. And the internet works the same way. If people who care about verification, context, and thoughtful discussion withdraw, those forces don't replace the noise. They leave the noise unchallenged. So the ecosystem itself isn't the enemy. The internet isn't dangerous simply because it exists. The real risk is participating in it without understanding how it behaves. Uninformed participation is risky, but total withdrawal doesn't fix the system either, because ecosystems don't become healthier when stabilizing forces disappear. They become more unstable. Cynicism doesn't clean the ecosystem, it just removes the people who help keep it balanced. When thoughtful people disengage, the loudest voices don't disappear. They simply take up more space, and that's not strength, that's exit. But if blind trust doesn't work, and cynical withdrawal doesn't work, what does responsible participation actually look like? What do? We proceed with purposeful forethought. Digital literacy isn't optional anymore, not for teenagers, not for adults, not for any of us. Because if we're living inside an ecosystem, we have to understand how ecosystems behave. Digital ecosystems amplify certain behaviors. They reward speed, they reward outrage, they reward certainty. And the faster those signals spread, the more the system pushes them forward. That means responsible participation requires something very simple, but very intentional. We slow down. We slow down before sharing, before forwarding, before reacting publicly. Because the moment we amplify something, we're not just consuming information anymore. We're helping shape the environment. So responsible participation means widening the lens. Before accepting a claim, we check where it came from. Before sharing an image, we ask whether it's real. Before reacting to a headline, we ask whether we're seeing the full story. It also means curating our inputs intentionally. Algorithms learn from our behavior, what we click on, what we linger on, what we react to. Those signals teach the system what to show us more of. So thoughtful participation means asking, what kind of information environment am I feeding? Am I rewarding outrage or am I rewarding clarity? We also model the behavior we wish the environment rewarded. We ask questions instead of jumping to conclusions. We verify before amplifying. And when we're unsure, we say we're unsure. That kind of behavior doesn't go viral, but it stabilizes the ecosystem. And finally, we set boundaries, not because the internet is evil and not because we're afraid of it, but because maturity includes knowing when to step away. When a conversation stops being productive, when a platform is shaping our emotions more than informing us, boundaries aren't avoidance, they're stewardship. It's easy to wish everyone else would behave more responsibly online, but ecosystems don't change when we wait for others to go first. They change when enough of us participate differently. Truth check. We don't protect ourselves by pretending the ocean doesn't exist. We learn how to swim. And the same is true here. The internet isn't going away, and neither are we. So if the internet really is an ecosystem, then the real question isn't whether the ecosystem will mature. The real question is this: will we? Here's what I see when I look at the internet through this lens. The internet is not purely good, and it's not purely harmful. It's an ecosystem, an environment where ideas, information, and human behavior interact. And environments influence behavior. They influence what spreads, what gets attention, what gets rewarded. And they influence us too. But influence is not the same thing as control. Environments shape behavior. They do not eliminate responsibility. We like to blame the environment completely or pretend it has no effect at all. The truth is harder. We are both shaped by it and participating in shaping it. Truth check. Understanding the environment doesn't make us powerless. It gives us leverage. And leverage is the opposite of helplessness. What role has the internet played in your life? Has it mostly been a gift, a source of stress, or a mix of both? There isn't a single right answer here. Most of us experience both sides of this ecosystem. And when you look at the internet as an ecosystem, what behavior do you see spreading the most? Outrage, speed, tribal loyalty, something else? You don't have to solve anything. Just notice what you're seeing. I'm always curious what patterns other people notice. This week, notice what type of content you amplify. Before sharing something, pause and ask yourself, what ecosystem behavior am I feeding? Is this adding clarity or just speed? Is it widening the lens or narrowing it? Then take one extra breath before hitting share. That's it. Small participation choices shape the ecosystem over time, and ecosystems respond to patterns. This channel isn't about censoring people or forcing agreement. It's about slowing down long enough to really listen, understand different perspectives, and approach discussion with thoughtful reflection together. I welcome different views, I really do, but I expect respect. If you disagree, explain why. If you see something differently, share your perspective. Here, our differences are strengths, starting points for deeper understanding, not weapons. And if you'd like a little extra help shaping your reply, I've linked my 3 Ps in Action comment edition in the description. It's the same process I use myself to pause, pinpoint truth, and proceed with purposeful forethought. Don't worry about reading all this here. The full list of sources is in the description and on my site, american-together.com. I share them because checking sources matters just as much as checking headlines. The internet is one of the most powerful environments humans have ever created. And like every environment, it reflects the patterns of the people living inside it. So the question isn't just what the internet is becoming. The deeper question is, what kind of participants do we want to be inside it? Hit the thumbs up, share this with a friend, and join the conversation in the comments. Together, we're not just watching, we're building something. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Remember, pause, pinpoint truth, proceed with purposeful forethought. Join the conversation. See you next time.